So he's from the Cape Flats and he's been in comedy since 2014. He's actually performed across Cape Town, Durban, Port Elizabeth, and Johannesburg. He has also been a host for many of the top South African comedians, as well as performing for Trevor Noah Presents Nationwild show. So I wanted to find out, who is this Keenan Cerff guy? Because I'm just hearing about him the whole time, and then I also found out that he was the writer for the roast of AKA. And here he is. Keenan, how's it? How you doing?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you, Kia?
I'm good. I really do want to find out who this Keenan person is, because I've heard so many great things about you. But I know first and foremost, you're actually a comedian. But tell us a bit more about your history, where everything started.
So I'm Keenan Cerff. I'm from Lavendale. Basically grew up in the whole of the Cape Flats. Because us lighties, we always, you never just stay in one area. You're always walking around and going to visit other aunties. I went to Sebelius High, which is in Retreat. I had aspirations of studying, but there wasn't really money for studying. Then I did the next best thing. I became a call center agent and worked in the call center for about 6 years. And then in that time I was doing comedy, and then comedy just slowly became more important in my life, and I got more opportunities, and then I was able to resign from the call center and do the comedy thing full time, and now I'm here with the interview with you.
Okay, so obviously with your comedy, you had to start somewhere. You didn't start right in the top. Tell us a bit more about that journey, how it all began.
Started in Premium Mitchell's Plain, Premium Sports Bar Mitchell's Plain. That's when my comedy journey started, and then ever since then I went from location to location to location, and it's just been one crazy journey that I'm still on at the moment. So it's a lot of fun.
That sounds awesome. Yeah. So, obviously it started at somewhere. When was that tipping point where you realized, oh shit, somebody's noticing me, because obviously you're just doing all these little sort of mini comedy sessions.
Yeah. The first time I left Cape Town was when I went to Durban, and everybody's like, oh no, go to Joburg. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna go to Durban, because everybody's saying it's easy in Joburg, so I'm like, no, let me go to Durban, let me see what's there. The tipping point was I was doing bad before that. I was always bad in comedy before. I had little bits of glimpses of good moments, but I was bad. And in Durban was the turning point, because I was in Durban, did 2 nights there. Then Carvin Goldstone saw me. It's one of his biggest comedians as well. He saw me and he was like, we're gonna meet up the next day. He saw me perform, did bad. No, we're gonna meet up the next day. Then we met up, we had a conversation just like this. And then I started telling him stories about my family. Not that I was trying to be funny, I was just because he's asking me where you're from, and I'm like, oh no, I'm from Lavendale, and I have an uncle, this, that. He's like, oh, these stories are so funny, why aren't you doing this on stage? I was like, I don't know, I'm trying to be funny. Then he's like, no, you must speak, do the stories, tell the stories on stage, be you. People want to see who you are. You can't, the moment you try to be someone else, the crowd picks it up. And if you fake, they can pick it up.
Yes.
So that was the turning point, because from then I started doing, even that night I had a set, and I changed everything around, just started doing stories, and from then onwards it was just a thing of, my comedy just went up. Slowly but surely just went up. Started to get booked for better gigs, started to get paid spots, started to be invited to Joburg and to PE. Then opportunities just came, and then when the Trevor thing came, and Trevor's manager was like, Keenan, where you performing? I want to watch you. I was like, yo. Trevor's manager knows who I am. And then that's just where that was the one of the points I'm like, okay, I think I belong here. That moment when I got that phone call and Trevor's manager phoned me 5 days before the show. He's like, oh no, Keenan, you were chosen to be part of this. And I'm alone there in my house. I'm like getting
Happy dance.
Yeah, I'm happy
Yeah.
dancing there. No one else is there, but I'm just like happy dancing, and then we were gonna get flown up, and because first he said no, you need to be in Joburg this date, and you're gonna be staying at a hotel, and I was like, ish, who can I ask now for money? How am I gonna get this? I don't have enough money on me. Need to ask my. They're like, no, Keenan, we're gonna fly you up. We're gonna pay for your accommodation.
Wow.
You're gonna be staying at, this hotel. And I was like, ooh, ooh. And then I'm in the hotel the night, and I'll never forget this. I'm in the hotel, and it's like a very, very fancy hotel. It's in Gold Reef City, and the hotel is so nice. And that whole night I'm just laying on the bed. I'm not touching anything. You know that free tea that you get there in the rooms? I'm not touching anything because in my mind I'm like, hey, someone is gonna come here. Hey, what are you doing here? You don't belong here. In my mind, I'm just like scared to touch anything. And then came the night of the show, and like, it was so exciting. Like, cause there was a lot of this. There was a lot of interviews. There was a lot of mic tests. There was a lot of, cameras following us around. Cause they putting the little pieces of the videos together. And then it just came the night of the show. And Trevor standing one side. Like, how a theater looks like. You have entrance here and the entrance here. We come in the side, Trevor stands the side. And he watches you throughout your set. And he gives notes to his manager to give to us. And while you're on stage, it's like, Trevor's here, crowd is here, over 1,000 people. Crowd is there, cameras everywhere. And that night I was nervous, but not nervous with them. I was more nervous because I am... Like, there's gonna be aunties that see this show, and they're gonna go to their kids like, you see him, you can be like him. Or kids are gonna see me themselves, and they're gonna wanna go, I wanna be like that. So for me, it's just like, so much people are watching, and like I have to make Lavendale proud. I have to make the Cape Flat proud. I want them to go, that's also lighting. That's our kid. That's what I want. And luckily, things went well for me that night. Panicked though, but things went well for me that night, and ever since then things have just been getting better and better.
Wow, what a story, eh? So it's like it's
know.
already like you on this journey.
It's incredible. Like, I always speak about in my set, I'm someone that used to get robbed a lot, right? Especially staying in Lavendale, I used to get robbed a lot. But the most weirdest thing happened recently. Like, I'm walking down the road and there's guys ahead of me, and I can, like, they're looking at each other, they're like, and they're busy aiming my way, and I'm like, hey, where can I run now? Which way am I gonna run? And eventually I reach the guys, and the guys like, hey, is your name Keenan? Is your name Keenan? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, nah, man, Keenan, make us proud, man, bro. The sky's the limit. You must that comedian, ne? I was like, if I say any other answer here, this conversation is gonna be awkward. They're like, nah, man, stop joking, man. You must that comedian, ne? Hey, me bro, kijk, the sky's the limit, me bro. No more mark 4 guys, that means that they're proud of me.
Yeah.
They're like, sky's the limit, me bro. Kijk, keep making us proud, me bro. Alright, koi, me bro. Kijk, do you have a fiver in it? Alright, no fiver in sharp, me bro. Safe. And like, for me to, like, there was no altercation. They just wanted to tell me that they were proud. And another lady was like, don't know me at all. She's just like, I don't know, words were always sticking in my head, because she was like, Keenan, you are what Lavendale needs. And for me, that's like, like this shy, awkward kid, this kid who got bullied and was always, made fun of for not being like the cool kid or the one that stands out. This one is the one that they go, no, Lavendale is looking up. You are what Lavendale needs now.
Wow.
And for me, that was like, So now I'm just like, I can't stop this thing. Like, I can't not, if my jokes don't work out, I will be involved in comedy, and I'll rather put shows together every month, but I can't stay away from comedy. Comedy is my thing. Like, I often say, sorry if I'm speaking too much now, but I often say, like, being childish. A lot of people give me slack these days for being childish, but being childish is something that's always been with me, and it's what saved me. growing up here in the afternoons, a lot of the guys that I know now are like drug addicts and gangsters. And the thing is, for me, we all used to chill together. All of us grew up together. Holiday time, like now, we'd be playing soccer all day. We'd chill there right at the back, and then there would came time where the guys would be like, "My bro, you gonna go try this thing now? You shouldn't have glue, man. You come with us, man. You're gonna go." Then I'm like, "Yeah, nice SpongeBob is coming on now. Mom made chicken curry. I'm gonna go eat. Make me 10 slices of peanut butter and bread now. I'm gonna go. You guys go do that every afternoon." Eventually, they stopped asking me, cause they would just go do their thing. I'd go do my thing. If there's soccer or cricket, I'm there. But if it's like that, then I'm like, nah, I'm gonna go. My mom's making something nice. So SpongeBob is on. I always had my time where I watch TV. Like 4:30, 3 o'clock. That's where the cartoons come on. Well, now I wanna go watch my cartoons, and not a lot of the other kids had the not a lot of other kids had that.
Yeah.
Some of them grew up in worse conditions than I grew up fine. I had my mom here. There were a lot of things around me. I was just in certain situations where there were these bad things. But luckily for me, I had a choice. I could say good and bad. That's the thing. That's a lot of things. A lot of these kids don't have that choice. All they see is they look home, bad. They look around them, bad. But you can't get mad at them that they're doing bad, because that's all that they know.
So sorry for interrupting you there, Keenan, but I just really want to say that it's absolutely amazing how inspirational you are. And I think it's wonderful that you're playing such an active role in your community and not shying away from it now that the stardom is coming there. Because I feel that sometimes we do that. It's just a human thing, it just happens, to each his own. But in terms of like your shows themselves, you obviously keep very connected with your community. How do you manage to maintain the prices? Because obviously, brother gotta earn a buck. So it's like, jy moet die geld maak. But in the same breath, you also want to make it accessible for your fans, and a lot of your fans come from community. So how do you do that?
Yeah, so the thing is, when I do shows like the show that I did here in Steenberg, the thing about the price is I made the price like 50 Rand, and I didn't care about the money. If you do something, yes, everyone needs to eat, right? But the whole purpose behind the gig in Steenberg, you can't have a gig in Steenberg and go, hey, I need to charge people what can I charge people? I understand the people from Steenberg. I know how they think. 50 Rand is what they would spend for a gig, right? At Baxter, they'd pay, there's a certain type of people that go to Baxter. Then at Artscape, there's a different type of people that go to. So I understand. I've been around. I understand the pricing thing. With my gig, I didn't care for money. Like, I didn't care about making money. My gig, I wanted to pay comics, because that's a thing in the Cape Town scene that doesn't happen like too often, where they pay all the comics. I tried my best to give each comic on my lineup at least 300 Rand or 200 Rand, something, just so that they can understand the concept of getting paid for something. And the people in the crowd, how eager people were to pay 50 Rand, that I'd increase the price. If a guy from Joburg is going to come to do his one-man show, then I increase the price. But other than that, I kept the price 50 Rand. And for even of the fundraisers that we do in the area, can't charge people too much. Like, I think I made the tickets the last time 100 Rand or something, if I'm not mistaken. And even though it was a good cause, it was a Steenberg High Hall, 500 seater, only 120 people came. That's why, because I charged 100 Rand, So things like that, I can't. Sometimes you just have to, if you're doing gigs, something that the concept of comedy is not, it's not something that resonates here with the people this side. They understand Mark Lottering, and they know Mark Lottering is only one place, Baxter. So we must pay there, because that's where Mark is only. Everyone else, they first need to be convinced that you are a comedian or that you are funny before they go, okay, now let's go and watch him. Let's go. So that's why, but at first, you first need to, if you can, for me, I keep the ticket price down until it's a fundraiser. If all the other gigs I make the price small, then a fundraiser, you know about me already, you know I'm funny, you know I bring good comedians. So when the time of fundraiser comes around, then people are able to pay, you know, those amounts. So it's like a whole, like you have to get into the mind of people. I don't know if I overthink it, but that's that's what I do, man. Just to because I want to help the kids. My sister was someone who was a boredom champion for South Africa, and my parents did fundraisers and stuff like that. And my sister went overseas and traveled all around the country, and she was supposed to go for another trip to some part close to Spain, but then they couldn't because they couldn't make money. And I don't want that to happen to any other kid. Luckily for my sister now, she's a good academic. So with a school's gonna send her overseas. Not many kids have that backup plan. All the kids, most of the kids here, they only have the one thing. They are good with numbers, they're good with sports or something. And if that one thing don't works out, then like if it don't work out, then they're forced to go into a work or into a space where they don't want to be in.
So you have kind of like touched on a couple of the obstacles and a couple of the positives, but is there anything that really stands out that you're like, yo, that was so hectic?
What do you mean,
When
like-
when it comes to a challenge that you've had to face, or like, oh, die mense pick up my nerves, you know, like,
Oh.
'cause look, maybe it's because I'm like a mother, or I don't know, but like, you know, I sometimes get
Yeah.
those mother moments.
Yeah. So one of my biggest challenges is, and I think a lot of guys in this position go through the same thing. But for me personally, it's just mentally staying strong. Depression is a very much a real thing, and for myself as well. You know, there's times where everything goes quiet, a comedy goes quiet, and like last year, even though I did a Trevor thing, whatever, comedy went quiet, so I went to go work for like 3 months. And going back there into that place, into the call center, because that's all I can do. Going back into the call center, it was horrible. Customers treat you bad because the only people that call through are people who most of the time, 90% of the time, have problems. Some of them come nicely with their problems, like, listen, my account is, no, I can't, well, you guys didn't take money when you were supposed to, can you please fix? And then other customers be like, you know, they don't care who you are, where you're from, they treat you bad. And you know, there's a lot of things throughout my life as well that's like in my head that built up as well. So I think my biggest challenge would be just mentally staying like positive. My whole family, a lot of people support me and stuff, and I know my mom in her heart, she supports me. She doesn't want me to fail. That's what I get out of her being the way that she is. It's a mom thing. A mom don't want their child to fail. At first, I was always like, oh, why do parents do this thing where they only support their child once their child make it, but before that, they don't support their kids. But I've just come to understand that maybe it's just a thing of, it's a fear that they don't want their child to come crashing and burning. Because then who's going to pick up the pieces? The parents.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what I try to do. I just try to show my mom, hey, I can stand on my own feet. I'm not that childish kid that you know and stuff like that. I mean, I still am, but like I know things.
Keenan, I think lastly, just to end off, if people want to either book you, you know, or if people want to come see your show, or if people just want to connect with you, like how can they do that?
Where people can book me is, actually, you know, because I got a booker manager now, you know. So let me just do this quickly. Okay.
Yeah.
So for bookings, it's 082 994 0699. That's my manager's number. His name is Mo. For email inquiries and stuff, it's CERFFKEENAN@gmail.com. Otherwise, the Instagrams and the Twitters, it's K_CERFF. That's Instagram and Twitter. And for Facebook, it's just KEENAN, Keenan Franklin Cerff, CERFF, which makes my initials KFC.
Keenan, it's been so awesome chatting with you. Thank you so much for taking the time out. Thank you for sharing your journey, your story, your history, for just, showing us what it means to keep on pushing forward and be inspirational. You might not see it right now, and I know that you have some people coming to you, but you'd be surprised at how many people you are influencing within your community in a very positive way. And that's exactly what you need to keep doing. So thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me here. I mean, thank you for having me a part of all of this, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Awesome.